right? So we shall be a bit fast today. And let's begin with Act 3. And please, if you have got the text, you may open it. And here I begin. And okay, you can just switch on your cameras also alongside so that we can click the pictures right now for the class. There are 11 students in the class at present, okay, at 10:30. So switch on your cameras. Now, when I begin with Act 3, so it's a few minutes later, I'm reading the text. It's a few minutes later from Cliff's room. Across the landing comes the sound of Jimmy's jazz trumpet. Right at the rise of the curtain, Helena is standing the table, pouring out cup of tea. Ellison is sitting on the armchair. She bends down and picks up Jimmy's pipe. Then she scoops up a little pile of ash from the floor and drops it in an ashtray on the arm of the chair. This is the scene 2. So Ellison says that he still not, this is the dialogue between Ellison and Helena. Ellison says he still smokes this foul old stuff. I used to hate it at first, but you get used to it. Now see, she's getting used of this foul old stuff in the similar way. This is what we were talking about, habit. That something that she did not like, but now she has adjusted with it, right? So this is habit. Now she doesn't think about it. Helena, yes. I went to the pictures last week and some old man was smoking it in front, a few rows away. I actually got up and sat right behind him. So, Ellison, there's someone in the lobby, so let me take her in. Okay, so she's saying that she went to theater and there she could not sit beside a man who was smoking. That means even now it's very difficult for her to cope up with a smoking person, but here she is saying that she has got used to it. So coming down with a cup of tea, Helena, here, have this. It usually seems to help. Thanks. She's totally broken down at that time. This is a shattered woman. So are you sure you feel all right now? She nods. It was just everything. It's my own fault entirely. I must be mad coming here like this. I'm sorry, Helena. Still, she's feeling that she should not have returned. Why should you be sorry? You of all people? Now she's questioning Helena because Helena herself has seen that everyone here is, going their own way. Yet still, Ellison is feeling guilty because it was unfair and cruel of me to come back. She has returned to her own home and she feels that she is cruel because she has spoiled joys of other people. I'm afraid our sense of timing is one of the things I seem to have learned from Jimmy, but it's something that can be in a very bad taste. Sipsity, so many times I have just managed to stop myself coming here right at the last moment. Even today when I went to the booking office at St. Pancras, it was like a charade, and I never believed I never believed that I would let myself walk onto that train. And when I was on it, I got into a panic. I felt like a criminal. I told myself I would turn down at the other end and come straight back. She's not willing to come to her own home, but still, she's some force inside her has pressurized her to come here. And Helena, who has been living with Jimmy, she has got no qualms about it. Ellison has got no qualms about Helena and Jimmy living together. Okay, she has not questioned Helena. So Helena, something Jimmy taught me. Ellison, covering her face. Oh, why am I here? You must all wish me 1,000 miles away. You people don't want me, but still why I have come here. So there's no fighting spirit. There's a total surrender. She doesn't wish to fight back the people who have done her wrong. That is the weakness in Ellison, I must say. Helena, I don't wish anything of the kind. You have more right to be here than I. Oh, Helena, don't bring out the book of rules. This means this is all about happiness. You people are happy together with me away, and I'm thirsting myself upon. I'm intruder here. At her own home, she feels that she is an intruder. Helena, you are his wife, aren't you? Whatever I have done, I have never been able to forget that fact. You have all the rights. Helena, even I gave up believing in the divine rights of the marriage long ago. See, divine word is very important here. In English society, it was believed that marriages or couples are made in heaven. So marriage was the institution. When the Pope he does. The church person, the priest, when he is asking the couple to take vows of the marriage, so it is like he himself is a messenger, and is passing the marriage thing to the couples from the God. It's God's order. So these are the divine rights. They're not talking about legal rights. Even before I met Jimmy, they have got something different now. Constitutional monarchy. So even I gave up believing in the divine rights of the marriage long ago, even before I met Jimmy. They have got something different now. Constitutional monarchy. You are where you are by consent. This is the change that is coming in the society. Now it is about consent of the person. It's not divine rights. It's not the marriage thing is forced upon you by God or the priest. And if you start trying any strong arm stuff, you are out, and I am out. I'm out of this marriage. Is that something you learned from him?
Ma'am,
Now,
excuse me,
yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of they've got something different now, constitutional monarchy? This and some strong arm stuff. What does this mean?
Constitutional, yes, the system in England at that time was that parliament was being formed, and so it was a kind of adjustment between monarchy and the constitution, new constitution that was formed. Monarchy believed in the divine rights of the marriage, but constitution believed marriage as a legal institution. Right, so it's a kind of a blending. Now monarchy is decreasing, it's fading away day by day. Constitution is getting stronger, so this belief that marriage is a divine right is this the concept is fading away gradually along with monarchy, and the concept that marriage is a legal contract between the two persons, and it is by the consent that two people are staying together. This is a constitutional thing. This is getting stronger day by day.
Yeah, ma'am. And
So
ma'am, some strong arm stuff means what?
strong arm stuff means you are where you are by consent. It is by consent, and I have not given my consent. I don't want to be here. And if you start trying any strong arm stuff, you are out. In this marriage, she has stopped believing in the marriage with Jimmy, and she has stopped believing that this is by divine divine blessings that she is living here. So strong arm stuff, if she tries, that means she forces upon her upon people here. She forces herself upon people here staying here. Then she is out, and she says that I am out.
Okay, ma'am. A forced marriage, no? Where
A
she is.
forced marriage or without consent. If two persons are staying together without consent, they don't want to be there, and they are trying strong arm stuff that they have to stay here under the same roof. So Helena
Yes.
says that's something you learned from him, because for everything Ellison says that I have learned from him. She has totally given herself up. She has got no personality. Like, she has become so malleable that she will melt into whatever Jimmy says. So don't make me feel like a blackmailer or something, please. I have done something foolish and rather vulgar in coming here tonight. I regret it and I detest myself for doing it, but I did not come here. So this all does not show that how much pardoning Ellison is. This shows how much weak she is, how much confused she is about her marriage. But I did not come here in order to gain anything, whatever it was, hysteria or just macabre curiosity. I would certainly I had certainly no intention of making any kind of breach between you and Jimmy. See what she is saying, right? Between Helena and Jimmy, she says that I am not a kind of a breach. You must believe that. Here, something opposite is happening. In place of Helena convincing Ellison that it's her error, her weakness, that she has come in between the two, it is Ellison who is saying these things. Helena, oh, I believe it all right. That's why everywhere, everything seems more wrong and terrible than ever. You didn't even reproach me. You didn't even rebuke me. You didn't even say something against me. You should have been outraged. There should have been some anger in you. But you weren't. You're so passive. So she leans back as if she wanted to draw back from herself. I feel so ashamed. You talk as though he was something you would swindled me out of. You're talking as though you have pulled me out of something. Now here she becomes fierce. And you talk as if he were a book or something you pass around to anyone who happens to want it for 5 minutes. You feel no possession over your husband. You treat husband as if it's a book. Okay, you can read it for 5 minutes, you can read. So what's the matter with you? There's that bond between husband and wife. You sound as though you were quoting him all the time. I thought you told me once you couldn't bring yourself to believe in him. You cannot, you have no trust in him. That is why she is so much inclined herself. She is so much inclined towards Cliff for things in her life. So Ellison, I don't think I ever believed in your way either. At least I still believe in right and wrong. Helena says she is committing wrong and she knows that she is doing wrong. But Ellison seems that it has got no effect upon her. So not even the months in this madhouse have stopped me. She's calling her house madhouse. This is not a ordinary house. This is a madhouse because Cliff is mad, Jimmy is mad, and Ellison seems herself to be mad. So not even the months in this madhouse have stopped me doing that. I have been in this madhouse, but I have got my concept of that is why she's a moral compass. Here in this house, she finds no morality between Jimmy, Ellison, and Cliff. She says that I have stayed here in this madhouse, but I have not lost my moral compass. I know what is right and wrong, and I know that what I have done is wrong. Even though everything I have done is wrong, at least I have known it was wrong. Ellison even doesn't know even at this moment. You loved him, didn't you? That's what you told me. And it was true, Helena says. It was pretty difficult to believe at the time. I couldn't understand it. How can anyone love Jimmy? I could hardly believe it myself, she says. Helena, Ellison, afterwards it wasn't quite so difficult. You used to say some pretty harsh things about him. Not that I was sorry to hear them. They were rather comforting then. But you even shocked me sometimes. You know, always you were fighting with Jimmy. How are you now with him? Helena, I suppose I was a little over empathic. There doesn't seem much point in trying to explain everything, does there? Yes.
Ma'am, means Helena was writing letter to Ellison when she was not there.
Yes, they were in contact. And Ellison knew the whereabouts that Helena is staying with her husband. They are together. Now see, Helena, at this point, this dialogue is important because there Ellison says, do you understand? And Helena is saying that, do you? And here same confusion is there in Helena's mind. She says that there's no use in explaining everything because I cannot explain the man I hated most and I am living with that person out of marriage now. So I just can't explain how, why. So is there a need to explain this? Ellison says not really. Now these dialogues seem to have reversed in Act 3. Helena, do you know, I have discovered what is wrong with Jimmy. It's very simple really. He was born out of his time. This is what's wrong with Jimmy, according to Helena. He was born out of his time. That means he is born in the period when people believe in marriage, they believe in social conventions, they believe in social system, and this man is out of the social system. So it is like in future when the social system changes, maybe Jimmy can live happily. Ellison, I know. Yes, I know. Helena, there is no place for people like that any longer. There is no place for people like that any longer in sex or politics or anything. That's why he's so futile. He's fruitless. Sometimes when I listen to him, I feel he thinks he's still in the middle of French Revolution. You know what French Revolution was?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The common people, the peasants rising against bourgeois, right?
Pollution against monarchy,
Basically monarchy, noble class. So Jimmy still believes, he doesn't believe that things have settled down now almost. Constitution has been formed. There are so many changes that have taken place in society and political sphere. He still believes that he is there. That is why he's out of time, not at present. And that's where he ought to be, of course. He doesn't know where he is and where he is going. He shall never do. He's out of place, out of time. Ellison, I suppose he is what you would call an eminent Victorian, slightly comic in a way. We seem to have had this conversation before. Yes, I remember. I don't know why Ellison is saying that he is Victorian, because Victorian people, they were the biggest hypocrites. It was then during Victorian age that the concept of Puritanism had come. Yes, maybe early Victorians were a bit free. So Helena, yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'll ask later. You explain first.
Helena, yes, I remember everything you said about him. It horrified me. I couldn't believe that you could have married someone like that. Ellison, it's all over between Jimmy and me. I can see it now. I have got to get out. No, listen to me. When I saw you standing there tonight, I knew that it was all utterly wrong, that I didn't believe in any of this, and not Jimmy or anything would make me believe otherwise. She's rising up. Then how could I have ever thought I could get away with it? He wants one world and I want another. And lying in that bed won't ever change it. Even if I'm involved with him physically, then also our way of looking at life is so different, so we can't be together. I believe in good and evil, and I don't have to apologize for that. It's quite a modern scientific belief now, so they tell me. And by everything I have ever believed in or wanted, what I have been doing is wrong and evil. After a long dialogue, she sums up that what she is doing is wrong and it's not a good thing, it's an evil. Helena, you are not going to leave him. She's so worried. Right, Helena? Yes, I am. Before Ellison can interrupt, she goes on. Oh, I'm not stepping aside to let you come back. You can do what you like, frankly. I think you would be a fool, but that's your own business. If you come back to Jimmy, then again you are a fool. I think I have given you enough advice. But he'll have no one. If no one stays, then there has to be someone with Jimmy. Helena, oh my dear, he will find somebody. He'll probably hold court here like one of the Renaissance popes. He judges women, so he can bring Pope here, Renaissance popes. Oh, I know, I'm throwing the book of rules at you, as you call it. But believe me, you are never going to be happy without it. I tried throwing it away all these months, but I know now it just doesn't work. You can't live life in this madhouse in this way. When you come in at that door, when you came in at that door, ill and tired and hurt, it was all over for me. Your baby has died because of me. She believes that also. You see, I didn't know about the baby. It was just a shock. It's like a judgment on us. Now I'll have to live with this fact that because of me, an unborn baby has died. Ellison, you saw, yes.
Like a judgment on us means what?
The death of the baby
happened because of us.
these things have happened because of us. I shouldn't have come, you shouldn't have moved away, and this is a judgment that the baby has died. Now this death of the baby, we shall have to live with this fact that the death has taken place of an unborn baby because of our acts.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Ellison, you saw me and I had to tell you what had happened. I lost the child. It's a simple fact. It's a miscarriage. So there's no judgment. There's no blame. Maybe not, but I feel it's just the same. But don't you see, it isn't logical. The miscarriage is not because of anything wrong, moral or immoral that we have done. Helena, no, it isn't. But I know it's right. The trumpet gets louder. Helena, going to her, you must believe him. He needs you. I know he needs you. Do you think so? Maybe you are not right one for him. We are neither of us right. You are also not right. I am also not right. Moving upstairs. Oh, why doesn't he stop that damned noise? Now here she is also irritated, just like Ellison is with the trumpet. Ellison, he wants something quite different from us. What is it? What it is exactly, I don't know. A kind of cross between a mother. See, this is the idea of the woman for Jimmy. These are the Ellison's words. What Jimmy needs is a mother surrogate. He never had mother. So he looks for mother in his wife. And at the same time, he wants Greek courtesan, a seductive woman with him. A mixture of Cleopatra and Boswell. But give him a little longer, give him more time. That means he wants all the care that a mother should give, and at the same time he wants a woman who is so erotic and so seductive, right, so that he can be taken in. So Helena, please, will you stop that? I can't think. That trumpet, there's a slight pause and the trumpet goes on and he puts her hands to her head. Jimmy, for God's sake. It stops. Jimmy, I want to speak to you. Now she wants to speak to Jimmy. Jimmy comes to the scene. Is your friend still with you? That means about his wife he's asking. Oh, don't be an idiot and come in here. Ellison rises. He doesn't want to see me. Stay where you are and don't be silly. I'm sorry. It won't be very pleasant, but I have made up my mind to go and I have got to tell him now. Enter Jimmy. Is there another of your dark plots? He looks at Ellison, so angry at Ellison. Hadn't she better sit down? She looks a bit ghastly. She's looking all devastated and disfigured. I just don't want to look. I'm so sorry, dear. Would you like some more tea or an aspirin or something? Because Ellison, she's suffering from headache. She just can't look at. She can't look at either of them. To Jimmy, the old authority returning. It's not very surprising, is it? She's been very ill. Before she started living with Jimmy, she was very authoritative. And this authoritativeness of Helena is something which Jimmy didn't like and it made him angry. Now here that is written. So it's not very surprising, is it? She's being very ill. She will appear ghastly because she is ill. She is Jimmy quietly. You don't have to draw a diagram for me. I can see what's happened to her. If you're talking about child, I can see her. That she is not having the child. Helena, and doesn't it mean anything to you? Her miscarriage? Jimmy, I don't exactly relish the idea of anyone being ill or in pain. It was my child too, you know. But it isn't my first loss. I have suffered so many losses. The parents lost, mothers, fathers, everything I have lost, my job, everything. So I just, this is another loss. I see it that way. Right. Now, Ellison on her breath. It was mine, the child. He glances at her but turns back to Helena quickly. Ellison says the child was my first loss. Because she has lived in a full family, complete family. So Jimmy, what are you looking so solemn about, so serious about? What's she doing here? Ellison, I'm sorry, she presses her hand over her mouth. Helena crosses to Jimmy and grasps his hand. Helena, don't please. Can't you see the condition she's in? She's done nothing. She said nothing. None of it's her fault. He takes her hand away. He takes his hand away and moves away a little downstage. What isn't her fault? Jimmy, I don't want a brawl, so please, let's hear it, shall we? Very well. I'm going downstairs to pack my things. If I hurry, I shall catch the train 7:15 to London. Now she wants to go back to London. They both look at him and he simply leans forward against the table, not looking at either of them. This is not Allison's doing. You must understand that. It is not because of Allison that I am going back. It's my own decision entirely. In fact, she's been just trying to talk me out of it. Allison wants to stop me, but I am going. It's my decision. It's just that suddenly tonight I see what I have really known all along. That you can't be happy when what you are doing is wrong. The moral compass in the play. That if you are doing something wrong, then you cannot be happy. Or if you are hurting someone, then you can never be happy. So I suppose it could never have worked anyway. But I do love you, Jimmy. I shall never love anyone as I have loved you. But I can't go on. I can't take part in all this suffering. I can't. She appeals to him for some reaction, but he only looks down at the table and nods, and Helena recovers and makes an effort to regain authority. To Allison, you probably won't feel up to making that journey again tonight. You cannot go back again. But we can fix you up at an hotel before I go. If you don't want to live here, then no problem. I'll take you to some hotel. There's about half an hour. She's so weak, Allison, because she's so weak. So she has just come from London, and now today on the same day she cannot return. So just for the sake of taking rest, she can halt in an hotel for today. I shall just make it. She turns up to the door, but Jimmy's voice stops her. So this is how far we can go today. And as I told you, at 11 o'clock sharp, I have to leave. So any question? One question I think I can answer.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. Jimmy hates the establishment, so he hates the church. But at one point, Cliff says that he's like a Puritan. So weren't Puritans people who believed in God and everything?
That is why Helena also at one place says that that he is a Victorian.
Yeah, but he hates the establishment. He's an atheist. Then why do they call him a
He
Puritan?
hates this establishment, post Second World War establishment.
Okay.
Victorian
So
was long back.
So it's not that he is against God or something. He just hates the people who use God for power, and that is why they.
No, he doesn't believe in God.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in any religion.
Any religion. He doesn't believe. There's no faith in him.
But isn't it important to believe in God to be a Puritan? Because Puritans were people who, believed in the church and everything.
No, he's not Victorian in that. This is why I said that I don't know why Helena is calling him Victorian, because he doesn't have these qualities. But probably he is Victorian because he talks like he's still living in that age of French Revolution. So in that sense, the people, in Victorian age also, people were on two sides. One who were those who were promoting hypocrisy, and the other ones were and Puritanism, and the other ones who were just against that.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Then I'll stop the class here and take the leave. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Enjoy your day.